So here we go. Welcome to the tour of Alignable, everyone. Today is, what is today anyway? June 21st, 2022. Welcome, Jim Setzer. I'm going to turn over the microphone to you, and you guys are going to love this. Have fun.
Well, thank you, Sue. I'll start out with a little bit of backstory, because why in the world would you make something like this tour of Alignable? And it starts back in June of 2017 when I opened up my first Explorer account. That's the Alignable term for the free account. And I didn't really do anything with it, and customers didn't magically fall out of the sky, so I really didn't pay much attention to it other than the occasional annoying email saying so-and-so wants to connect. And that's where it laid. And I think a lot of people start out in their Alignable journey like that. They see it, they don't really understand it, so they put it aside. Fast forward to middle of last year, and Facebook is imploding, and it's gotten so caustic and divisive and distracting. And I'm trying to find other ways to not waste my time on Facebook, which has turned into a zero return on investment activity. And I started spending a little bit more time on Alignable, which is when I came across Sue's message. She told you where that went from there and how I became an ambassador. To be an ambassador, you have to have a premium account. And so I launched my premium account. I just dipped my toe in the water and did the 1 month. And I started looking around and I realized, oh my God, there's a lot of good stuff here that they don't really tell you about. And after a while, I'm thinking, if I had known back in June of 2017 what I now am discovering about Alignable, would my business be fundamentally different? And that led me to, well, if I feel this way, and I've talked to other people who basically did kind of the same thing when they first joined Alignable, maybe it's worth sharing that information with other people and keeping them from committing the same fault that I did, and let that thing lay fallow. So that's what gave rise to this event, this tour. I started kind of putting it together, and that's where we are today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do this, and now we're gonna go through all these tabs and sub-tabs, some more quickly than others. Right at the top of this thing, you're familiar with the purple ribbon with all the top level tabs. You've seen them all there. Now, when we're first learned to read, we begin to train our brain to scan the world from left to right. You would think that we would be unpacking this thing left to right, just like you read, but I found that this actually unpacks better, for me anyway, to try to explain it, if we go right to left. We're going to unpack this thing right to left, stopping at each of these tabs along the way. And some of these have sub-tabs, so we're going to unpack those sub-tabs right to left as well. Okay, right up here at the very top right, mine says My Profile Activity. If you have an Explorer account, the free account, yours actually says this up there. It says Go Premium. You see that up there in the corner? And that's just going to be a commercial to up your subscription. Guys, I am not an employee of Alignable. I don't play one on TV. I'm just sharing this stuff because I want to share my experience and how I use Alignable to promote my business. So that's going to be the difference there. You might see two other yellow boxes right there and there. Those are two other areas that are different if you have a paid subscription versus the Explorer account, and I'll touch on those when we get to those as well. So let's go back. When I click on the My Profile Activity, what I get is exactly that. I get my profile activity, the things that I've been doing as far as referrals, visits, and impressions for the last 90 days. This is a great tool for me to go back and remember who it was I was thinking about connecting with. Like if I'm on a Zoom call and I see somebody new, and so I might click on their profile while we're in the Zoom call, but I don't have really time to do anything with it because I'm supposed to be present in the Zoom call. Just by touching those and looking at their profile, they go into this list. So I can easily go back and figure out who it was I had looked at, and I can then go back when I have time and do all that. It's very similar to something that you may have on Facebook, but Facebook hides it way down here under this taco chip, under settings and privacy, activity log, and they still break it down into all these dumb categories. Now I can't find anything, so I don't find the Facebook version of this feature nearly as helpful as I find it on Alignable. So that's my profile activity. Now we're going to go to the My Business tab, and this is going to have a lot to unpack. We're going to spend quite a lot of time here. Starting way over here on the right, This little saved feature, boy, I really wish this was better. This would be a great way to build a to-do list, but only a handful of activities on Alignable currently have this little save ribbon where you could kind of drop things that you see along the way into a to-do later list. I've talked to the Alignable folks about maybe promoting this little save button more ubiquitously, but in the meantime, it's not all that useful. Tools are not really tools. They are basically these code snippets that you can put on, say, your website. Everybody has access to these little Alignable logos if you want to promote Alignable and show that you're on here. If you get badges, you can get code snippets for these badges. And if you want to see what they would do, here's my my website, my About Me page, and you can see I've pasted those things right there into my website to kind of let people know that I'm an active Alignable person. So that's what tools is all about. Okay, when I go to my account, this is a good place for you to add additional connections between your Alignable account and other things. Everybody has the email you use to create your Alignable account as a synced account here. You can add more email accounts. Maybe you have a marketing assistant, or you want to separate those things for other reasons. You can also synchronize with other social media pages. I don't have 4 hours to go into the details on how to make all that magic happen. Maybe that's a video for another day. My membership is an area that is slightly different if you have a premium account. This is where a premium member can go and see how many connection credits they have left in their billing cycle. Great, handy, easy way to do it. There is a way if you're on the Explorer account to get to that, and we'll see those two along the way. So if you only have, say, a free account and you got 10 connection credits a month, those are precious, right? You want to be able to only use those for the whales, right? The people you're really, really looking to connect with. So you want to monitor those. The rest of this page is just all the things you would get with the various levels of paid accounts. They're not all, I found them not very descriptive. That's why we're here looking under the hood live to see what they really mean by all that stuff. Okay, recommendations are a super powerful tool on Alignable because we do business with people we know, like, and trust. And recommendations are a great way to build all three of those. We highly recommend that you do not accept blind recommendations from people that you actually don't know or haven't done business or don't have a trust relationship with. There's a great ignore button if you go into the pending queue. I don't have any pending right now, but if I had any in the pending queue, I could say ignore. I typically write those people back saying, hey, thank you for the connection, for the recommendation, but we don't know each other yet. Hopefully we can build that relationship and we can give each other heartfelt recommendations soon. But here are the recommendations that I've accepted. So you can come in here and you can take a look at all those. This is a great feature that's not on another platform, and that is when you send a recommendation, but maybe the business relationship grows and you want to change that early recommendation to something a little bit more beefy, you can actually go in and change and update your recommendations that you've given. So your recommendations are more of a living thing, not a one-time snapshot. And that's really important. Sue, do we have any questions in the chat you want me to stop and address?
If anybody wants to ask a question from when he stops to ask you, you can go down at the bottom and click the reactions button, click raise hand, and just keep your questions to whatever he's talked about, like not some off the wall question, kind of stick with the topic. So yeah. Yvette?
Yes, thank you. So Jim, can you briefly repeat, how do you change and update your recommendation?
So there's a couple ways to get to the recommendations page. I get to the recommendations page by clicking on the My Business tab at the purple ribbon, and there's a sub tab called Recommendations. And then over here in this panel, you click on Sent Recommendations, find it, and then use the three dots to edit it.
So you can edit it. Okay, I didn't think you could. All right, thank you very much.
Evelyn?
Yes, what are whales?
Oh, so there are marketing terms like fishing is where you go out and you're trying to find all the customers in the sea that might be a good candidate. Whales are your ideal referral partner or your ideal client. Sue calls them avatars. I call them like very specific. Oh, that engineering company, I really want to work with that engineering company. So I'm going to mark them as a whale, and I might stalk them on social media. I might find out everything about them. I might, do all extra things to be able to land the whale. It's like a Moby Dick reference, land the big white whale.
Okay,
Thank you.
Melissa.
Hello. I have
Hi.
a question. When you go to the three dots and edit your last message to the person, does it go away, or is it saved there, and the new one's just there, or is that old one?
Oh, it's just going to open the dialog box with the text you already have. So you can either add to it or replace it or whatever. And then it's going to go into that person's pending queue again. So they get a chance to review it and either agree with it.
Right,
and
but
go.
is the record gone? It's just the current message that is there?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to edit my reason. And you see it just opens that initial recommendation up, and I can change any part of it I want. And then it's going to hit, and then when I hit save, it'll save it as edited. So it's not going to be two different recommendations. You're just editing and modifying your recommendation. You can give one recommendation to an
One
individual.
recommendation. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michelle.
That's what.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on that. Will Victor Sanchez get some kind of a notification that you have updated the recommendation?
Yes, they'll get a notification in this notifications panel up here, and it will land in this pending queue where they get a chance to review it and either accept it or ignore it.
Kimberly.
Hello.
Hi.
So should you, I like some of the recommendations people have done, like, can you do that? Is that a good thing? Should you not do that? Is it like liking your own Facebook post?
I can only offer my own opinion, and that is, I only accept heartfelt recommendations that I agree with from other people. And sometimes they get a little too flowery, or maybe it's a little stronger than I want, but you get an opportunity to just contact them and say, hey, thank you for the recommendation. I think you're embellishing a little bit. Let's be more honest about it. And, personally, Alignable, the algorithm and the community, I would rather do business with a company that had 3 recommendations with heartfelt testimonials attached than 1,500 recommendations with nothing attached, because that's just numbers.
And what do you do about recommendations that, you've accepted already that have nothing attached?
You can delete it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So.
And then there's a place to like it. So that's what I wanted to know is, should we be liking the recommendations that are especially helpful? I know other people like them.
Oh, yeah.
No, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Other people like, and we have, it says you can click like. So should we be doing that, or should we not be doing that? That's my question.
No, I think if you do like it, I'd say like it. Every interaction you have with your community strengthens your visibility in your community. Liking something promotes you as well. So absolutely, I'd say yes.
Awesome.
If you agree.
Let's go ahead and everybody mute yourselves again, and let's let Jim keep going, because we don't have a lot of time left, and we have a lot to share.
This could go on for quite some time. I agree. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for keeping us on time, or trying anyway. Let's move to the My Post tab. Here's some nice metrics you can, if you're a numbers person. I'm a numbers person. I like to track these numbers and see, in general, is my posting being widely accepted? How am I doing? But more importantly, you scroll down, these are all posts that I've made, and each of the posts come with this nice little set of metrics here. So here's a little walkthrough video I did for a real estate listing recently, and I want to share with the realtor how much traction it got on Alignable, so I can share these metrics back with her, and I can say, hey, these are the number of people in my network community and nearby communities. We'll talk about what those mean if you don't know a little bit later. But depending on what it is, like, oh, I reshared this event with my community, and look how much traction it got. Between my city and nearby communities, 2,000 views. So, but anyway, that gives you a lot of really great information to use. Especially if you're a person that does like A/B testing, you know, two different versions of the same post to see which one people gravitate toward. I do that sort of thing. So these numbers are great in helping me do my marketing. If you have a digital marketing person that does that for you, they're going to love this information because that's exactly what they're going to do to continue to promote your business. All right, speaking of promotions, let's move to the promotion and services tab. More kind of interesting information about your promotions. If you have any active right now, I don't. But I can look at my past promotions and I can see which ones did well and which ones didn't, based on the amount of activity that's going on. So I had some that were complete duds, and I have some that had some good traction on them. 4.6 thousand for a little 1 week promotion. That's pretty good. But I can get now into my products and services, and I can see which of my product and service offerings are getting a lot of visibility and traction. Some of these are okay. This one's done really well. I just started this service recently, dating profile photo shoot, after doing a couple of these for friends. And look at all these referrals and impressions it's getting. And these are like nationwide. I'm surprised how many people are responding to this, but they are. So this tells me this is a great product and service I need to continue to mature and promote. Maybe some of these others are things I need to either revisit the product and service listing, or maybe they're products and services that nobody around me want. Who knows? But it's great to have this great, wonderful information that I can use to make those determinations.
Where do you find the past promotion?
Oh, this button right here. Do you see it? It just goes highlighted when I...
Okay, because
All right.
it's hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And of course, if I had any active ones, they would be sitting here, right here. But I don't have any right at the moment. All right.
Okay, so just because we have a short amount of time, let's hold to questions maybe till the end, and when we get ready, just use the reactions button and try to keep your stuff muted.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. You have so much to share. I'm so sorry, but hold the questions and you'll have time at the end.
I think we're good on time, but if you would put your question in the chat, maybe Sue can pick out the most relevant ones, and we can go through those as I take a pause for a drink. Water. It's just water. Okay, let's move on, because this is, for me, the most important tab right here. This tells me my activity. And this, again, is a Premium and Premium Plus only panel. If you click on this with your Explorer account, you will get the advertisement again. I love this panel for all the reasons I'm about to explain. One, another set of metrics that I can look to see how well my my profile and my visibility on Alignable is performing over the last 90 days. And this amazing chart, I follow really, I look at it every day. This week is not over, so I still have a chance to outdo my performance. This is the number of visits to my profile per week. Each dot is a week. Right here in this trough, this is where my wife and I moved. So as you know, you're not doing anything else the week you move besides dealing with moving. And you could tell I was not on Alignable at all, but I still got 37 visits. And of course, the weeks leading up to it is all about packing, and the weeks, afterward, you're unpacking. And then I get back in the groove, and you can see that I'm getting back to my, I'll call it my average is about 130, 140 visits a week based on my particular Alignable workflow. So that's really good. That tells me that I'm getting out what I put into Alignable, and I feel like I'm getting my money's worth in time and money in the return on investment, the closed business that I land based on that. All right, so now we get into even more interesting things. We already talked about referrals, but here, not only can you see that I've had 638 visits to my profile preview and my profile, and I can click on this and I can see who. That's really good. I can kind of get an idea of the people that are visiting my profile. But when I get into my products and services, remember I talked about this dating profile photo shoot, that's going well. I can click on exactly who saw that product and service. They window shopped, they went there and they saw it, and they moved on. They didn't contact me about it, but I know who they are. So now I can go back to D and I can connect with D, and I can say, D, thank you so much for visiting my, this product and service, my dating profile photo shoot. Can I answer any questions? How can I help you today? And just reconnecting with it and starting that conversation brings people back in. We have that conversation, and that turns into closed business for me. It really does. I can't say 100%, but it's a bigger percent than what I would get on any other platform. Certainly on something like Facebook. Facebook basically says we will never show you who's visited your profile, so you have no way to reach back and reconnect with these potential customers who've shown interest. So this panel right here for me is worth the premium membership. That's just me. Now, I'm not here to promote Alignable. I think if I had a cupcake shop out at the boardwalk and walk-in traffic gave me all the business I needed, I would never need to upgrade to a premium profile. But if you're in a business where you're looking to find referral partners and clients online, this is how I do it. All right, speaking of profile, let's go to the last sub-tab under my business, and there's your profile. And I don't have the 6 hours to go over all the things I want to say about profiles. And Sue has about 9 more hours of things that she would like to tell you about profiles. So I'm going to suggest you go sign up for the next virtual version of Sue's networking and how to be a rock star workshops. She deep dives into the profile and all the different facets of it. And I think this one coming up next week is live, so you have to go to Sonoma Valley to participate.
You can just go to learnfromsue.com, and I'm going to be adding some more. I do a whole entire profile workshop, which I did earlier today. So learnfromsue.com is where you can find all the upcoming events. I'm going to be adding more. It's kind of scarce, but I'll be adding more. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, put that link in the chat so people can click on it. Anyway, but the two things I'm going to just point out really quickly, well, the one thing I'm going to point out really quickly is these 3 panels, the ideal customer panel, the ideal referral partner panel, and the about us panel. These are super, super, super important. Pen this narrative very, very carefully, be honest, be complete, be promotive. And these tabs, keywords that you would add to these are super important because they give the Alignable matching engine all the ammunition they need to help you find perfect referral partners and customers, and we're going to see that in the tabs coming up. All right, so that was the My Business tab. We're going to go through some of these others much more quickly, like the Notifications tab. Notifications work just like all the other systems out there, like Facebook and whatever. I do find these are a little bit better because you can tag them as read and kind of organize them a little bit, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time with them. Notifications are pretty easy to understand. My Messages tab, that is obviously where you go to Facebook messaging system. I'm sorry, Alignable's messaging system, which is very similar to Facebook Messenger, although there are a couple of minor differences. One, Alignable doesn't allow you to add attachments, which actually is a blessing in disguise because I don't know about you, but my customers have about 15 different vectors that they want to use as the primary way to talk to me, whether that be phone or text or a Facebook Messenger or Discord or, you name it, all these other vectors. And I don't want Alignable to be another one. I use the Alignable messaging system to get to that first coffee date. And once we've gotten to that first coffee date, let's decide the other, communications channel that works better for us and move off of that. So other than Sue, all these other conversations you see up at the top here, the most recent conversations, are people that I have recently connected with. We haven't gotten to that coffee date stage yet. One of the things that caught me off guard for the longest time is group chat. So any conversation that includes more than 2 people gets separated out in this weird little group chat area up here with a name. And so for the longest time, I had conversations I couldn't figure out where they were. They were hidden down here in that. Before I click on this groups thing, you see this little red bubble? If you're not familiar with it, any of these tabs that have content that you haven't seen yet, these are little notification bubbles. And if there's more than one, like if there were 3 waiting messages, there'd be a number 3 here. This tells me right now that there are new activity in my groups that I have not seen yet. So I'm going to click on the My Groups tab. And like before, I'm going to start with the sub-tab on the far right that most people don't ever get to. And this is the Find Advice tab. And this is a great way for you to stay relevant in your community. This shows people that you know what you're talking about or you have great opinions about whatever the question of the day is down here. When you answer these questions, it's recorded and people can see your answers in your profile. So it's good to kind of, when you see something that you have an opinion about or you have an answer to, it's great for you to go in there and join those conversations. They're really strong. My post is just like I showed my post before. It's just kind of a link to that. It's kind of another way to get to that spot right there. Find groups is it takes all those tags in your profile and it churns them through the algorithm, and it makes recommendations for groups that you think that it thinks you might want to connect with. I've already gone through this a bunch of times, but you'd be surprised the first time you go here and it'll find groups that where your ideal clients hang out or where your perfect referral partners tend to be, and it'll pick those for you and it'll show them to you and allow you to join those groups that are going to be help you be relevant and a known entity in those important places. And then finally, the default, which comes up, which shows you all of your groups. And I'm going to move myself out of the way. There we go. So these are all my groups. I clearly need to cull this list down because I am in too many groups. I don't have time for all these. If you're just lurking in a group, you've joined, but you're not part of the conversation, you should leave. You're not contributing any, and it's just making your life feel stressed because you're not getting to something. Sure, I join groups where my perfect clients hang out, like the real estate group where realtors hang out, but I actually get more traction by going to the places realtors partner with. All those contractors, the roofers, the repairmen, the inspectors, all those plumbers, all the people that real estate agents need in every single transaction. When I'm well known in these groups, they tend to refer me to my ideal client, so they become my workforce. They are a force multiplier. So that's Jim's opinion on using groups. Use them a little bit to find your client, but more importantly, use them to build your referral network. Now, before I go to my community, for some strange reason, at the bottom of the My Groups tab, they tell you what communities are. And my home community is the city of Virginia Beach. We're about 400,000 people. So when I post something, when I answer those questions, those kinds of things are visible to my community. And depending on your subscription level, maybe some nearby communities as well. I don't know why this panel is here. It belongs in the other one, but here it is. Now you know. When I go to the My Community tab, when my internet speeds up, there we go. Now I can see, again, here's my community, 11,000 alignable accounts in the city of Virginia Beach. Like I said, 400,000 people. I can do the math and say, okay, maybe that represents 9,000 unique businesses or potential clients. Of that, maybe let's say 3/4 of those are active alignable accounts. So that's still a pretty good pool of people that are potential referral partners and clients for me. I'm a small business, and that's pretty good. And then when you add all the surrounding communities, that gives me an idea of the reach I have on the Alignable platform. And I can come in here and I can look at a directory of things like the newest businesses in town. That's a great way to connect with people because they're fresh to Alignable. They've just connected today, right? Join today, join today, join today. So these people are probably going to respond to a connection request if you make it because they've just started here. They haven't let it go fallow like I did. And what did Sean Connery say in The Untouchables? If you don't want a rotten apple, don't go to the barrel, pick it off the tree. There's picking the apples off the tree right there. And now you could go to other sorts like most recommended. And so you can see the people that are highly recommended. These are also great people to connect with and have a high probability that they are going to respond, that they're not these kind of like, dormant accounts like I had for years. And they're likely to accept your request and you can get started on that, building that trust relationship. And you can sort by other things as well. Now let's get over to network. And these are all the people that I've either already connected with or maybe want to connect with. And this is again where the Alignable is going to take your profile tags, it's going to churn and burn, and it's going to present you, based on what you said you were looking for, these suggested connections for referral partners or clients or whomever. And so instead of you having to dig through thousands of Alignable profiles to find the nuggets, the whales you're looking for, they're going to be floating up here at the top, ready for you to get them with a little spear fishing. Here's where I can see a request, network connection request come in from somebody else. There you go. I'm not going to accept that right now because I always want to do a little research on somebody to see if really we are a good connection, opportunity there. So I'm going to hold on to that till later. And you can see you have all different kinds of selection criteria for looking for people. Sometimes when I'm doing a campaign, they're like, oh, today or this month, I'm going to try to connect with a lot of dentists because they like to get a lot of ad videos together. So I'm going to target dentists this month. So I could click on here and I can go to an industry and I can find all the dentists in my area and I can connect to them, in some kind of monthly or weekly campaign or whatever. So there's all kinds of tools in here. No way we have time to go over all that stuff, but you can get an idea by looking at this list, all the different ways you can sort and bin and find the people you're looking for. Okay, we're actually cruising along fine. Do we have any other comments or questions in the chat I should address?
Actually, yeah, there's some questions that I need a little more clarification on, but if you have a question for anything, make sure it's something that Jim has talked about. Go ahead and click the reactions button and click raise hand. That way we can see if you are there, and I'll just go through the list. Yvette, go ahead.
So thanks, Jim. There is a lot of information that you have shared on Alignable, and really it does great work. So where do you spend most of your time on Alignable?
Great question.
I have a routine, and it basically involves going in and looking at things in a particular order. You might have guessed what they were by the things I said were really important to me. For example, this activity tab down here is one of the first places I go. I start with messages because I want to be prompt in responding to messages. That's the first thing I do. Then I go down my messages list to see if there's a stale message. Like I sent a message to somebody, but they hadn't responded in a while. And I'm not just going to follow up with another message. That seems weird and thirsty to me. I'm going to do something like uncover their phone number and send them a text saying, hey, did you see my message on Alignable? I really want to talk to you about XYZ. So I do that first to kind of, do the messaging thing. Then I come over here and I look at all this activity. So I touch base with all the people that might have looked at my profile, my goods and my services. And then I come over here to network and I look to see if there are any new people or recommended companies that I want to connect with. And then I go through anything else that happens to be there. And the last thing I do is I go through this notifications list because there might be something just to touch base with people like, oh, I know this person and they received a recommendation. I'm going to go ahead and click the like button. Great. That puts me back top of mind for them. So the people that I want to continue to grow that relationship with, the more they see me in these responses and stuff, the more likely they are to have me top of mind when it comes time to recommend a photographer or videographer. And that's my typical morning routine, and then I go. Anything else that requires more thought, like a recommendation, I will make a note to come back later when I have more time in the day, because I do this while I'm sipping my morning coffee. And I come back during the day because I want to spend a lot of time. When I'm going to pen a recommendation, I really want to put thought into every word, that it's meaningful, it's thoughtful, and it's honest. So that's my routine. Your routine could be completely different. It really just depends on how much time you have to spend and what's important to you on the platform.
Right. It's interesting. I just want to jump in and throw this out that Jim is very, he's different from someone like me, okay? Or someone like my friend Sherry. Jim is a guy, and most guys are kind of like this. There are some girls that are very technical that are like, oh, I want to see those data. I want to see the data. I want to see the charts. I want to see the numbers. And he's super duper intentional about growing his business, which I think is amazing. There's other people that just want, especially women. It isn't, of course, there's both, but I noticed that, like, I have the women business owners group, you know, that's a really active group. So a lot of people will go, I want to go and connect with people and talk to people and not feel so alone in my business. And so they want to go join groups. And so, or events, especially like the quick connect events, or maybe it's like, I have some time to learn, get a training in. Let's go look at the events and let's see if there's something going on. So you will have your own routine. And actually, I'm just going to throw this out there really quick. If any of you would do something like Jim here, like do Zoom video and just share what your morning routine is, I can share it with the Alignable team. They want to know what's important to you guys. And and by the way, a lot of this stuff's going to be changing. So in a month or two, you might come back and it's not going to be anything like this. So learn what it is now. And then you'll just so you know, secret tip, there's going to be some changes coming along. Really, really awesome things. So let's keep going with the questions. Mary?
Okay, just checking. There's somebody else coming in there. Yeah, Jim, I just want to say hi. I sent you the invite over there from California, from Martinez, California. So I just want to say hi there. And I do coaching all around the country. So, you know, we may be able to help each other out somehow.
Okay,
But
great.
I just want to let you know who I was.
Okay.
Awesome.
Let's stick with questions we only have like 15 minutes. So questions about anything Jim talked about or parts of the thing. Anna, go ahead. And those of you who have a question, please go down to the bottom where it says reactions and then click raise hand. That way I can call on you. So Anna, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Jim. I was going to ask if you could show us again where to find the advice giving tab. I didn't quite catch when you pulled that up.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Under My Groups, off the purple ribbon, there's a subtab called Find Advice. And here you go. So these are, you know, some questions asked, and there's even some answers down there. Like I said, your responses to these are going to show up at the bottom of your profile. So when people are really looking at your profile, they want to see what kind of, you know, knowledgeable person you are. They show up there. They're going to show up in your community. They may even show up in the newsletter. If you know about the Spark newsletter that comes out on Sundays, so your responses may show up there as well.
Excellent. And just a really quick tip on that is when you're answering questions and helping people, make it purely about giving, not about promoting your business. That's really, really, really important. I can't stress it enough. If you're like, oh, you could hire me to fix that, that's going to be kind of flagged as spam. It's not going to make you look great on Alignable. So just be helpful. Be that person that's like, hey, here's some great ideas. Or maybe you could connect with these other people that could help you. Like, be super duper helpful. I'm just telling you, that's a big one. Okay, we got a lot of questions here. Okay, Christina, go ahead.
Great advice.
Okay, yeah, I have people that connected with me, and I don't know that they even connected with me. I don't think that's really good unless I scroll down on some of the things. But the other thing, where do I find all my connections?
Oh, well, so you go to your My Network tab up here.
Okay.
I'm waiting for it to paint. There we go. And you can go to My Network Connections. There you go. And you can see I've got 651 connections here.
Okay.
And there now the top of it are people that not only have you connected with, but maybe you have cross-referred or you've recommended each other. So they're going to show up in your core group. And then all the rest of the connections will show up here in some strange order, which I've not been able to figure out, but there you go.
I mean, even if somebody connected with me recently, I don't know that they connected with me. You know, I come upon them by error, you know.
No,
Find out. I'd like to always send out, thank you for connecting, or, you know, some information.
Christina,
Yeah,
go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah, when someone requests to connect with you, it's in their pending, it's in this request pending queue, and you actually have to accept it before they can actually become connected with you.
Yeah, if they're already connected with me, how do I know that they're actually connected with me? That I didn't find.
Oh, okay. Yes. So everybody you're already connected with is in this list that I showed you. So they're all there. You just have to open this up and see the full list of.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Jennifer?
yeah, they're all mixed up. Okay.
Jennifer, go ahead. Thank
I have kind of a silly question, but how do you treat posts on Alignable versus like posts on Facebook? Do you do the same types of things, or do you have a different method and treat it a little different?
Are you talking about the posts that I create or posts that I think I'm going to respond to?
Posts that you create, like, so if you're wanting to put yourself out on social media and you're like, oh, I'm going to go make this really
Yes.
great post, are you doing the same kinds of things?
I'm going to shake my head. No.
Go ahead. You answer it, Sue.
Yes, please come to my networking for introverts, how to be a rock star.
I'm on a call right now.
I'm in it on Monday. Okay.
Great. Okay.
They can't hear me.
I will help you.
I'm
understand
listening.
that.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, someone else is talking. Yeah, so just in a real, and you're from Omaha, I'm from Nebraska. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to live there. But I have to say this to everybody because I really do want everybody to hear this. Alignable, to me, this is my opinion. I think Jim probably will agree with me. I don't see Alignable at all as a social media platform. It is not. Social media, in my opinion, is where you go out and you promote your business and spam everybody with what you are selling. Because that's what Facebook and LinkedIn seriously seems to be all about. Alignable is about you being somebody to go in and help other people and find referral partners, refer other people, recommend other people, help the community, go into these groups and become an expert. I'll tell you one really quick story, and is this guy came to my mastermind. I do these masterminds every Friday that's free. You should all come, mastermindwithsue.com. Anyway, he came on and he said, oh my gosh, I used to be kind of a spammer on Alignable. He just admitted, he goes, I used to just go out there and try to do the same thing I'm doing on these social media platforms. And he said, I changed my whole ways and I started going in and just helping people with no intention of getting anything in return. He said, I just got a $30,000 a year client because someone saw how I was behaving and how much I was giving to other people. And then he came a couple weeks ago, I think Jim, you were there, and he said, oh my gosh, it's happening all the time. So that's my quick, try to make it quick, 2 cents on how to behave on Alignable.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mike, go ahead.
Okay, so this is in relations to my home community. Rather than where I physically live, my business serves 2 large counties out here in California. Is there any way to change your home community to be, your county or a larger area, so I'm not limited to just a very small subset of, the activity?
Yeah, you could contact the Alignable tech support folks through the help pages and explain your situation. It's of course your home community is defined by your zip code or the other maps they use to scope that. But you may be in a small, at the edge of where your customer base is to the left or whatever, and you're not missing it. You might be able to talk to them and have them modify that. I can't guarantee it because I don't work for Alignable, but that's what I would do if I were in your position. Okay. Just say, actually, here's where I am. Here's the core of where all my clients are, and go from there.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, Mike, get in touch with me. Sue at alignable.com.
I sent you a message on it. I sent you a message on Alignable already.
Yay. Okay, cool. I'm excited. Okay. Mary, did you have another question? Your hand's up?
Yeah. So how do you find those I referred to you? Because I have like a couple of referrals and I click on referrals, but it doesn't tell me who is referred to me.
Oh yeah, because the message goes to the referee. So it's really kind of up to them to then reach back to you and say, hey, Sue Brooke, recommended I get in touch with you, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, and if the people, I mean, just use email or some other mechanism to do an email introduction. That's what I tend to do anyway.
Cool. Anna.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to follow up because Jim, you mentioned something about newsletter, and I see that comes up as like a premium option to have a newsletter ad or something. I guess if you could just talk more about what that does and if it's worthwhile.
I won't, because I don't work for Alignable Marketing. I read the newsletter, and for me it's helpful. Just because of me and where my business is, I don't find the advertisement opportunities for the newsletter work for me. but it could be something that might work for you. So you just have to explore that on your own. I don't think I can answer it for you.
Yeah, that's just, it's kind of up to you if you want to sponsor the newsletter, and you can always contact support and ask them, you know, their advice on what to do. So anything else, any other questions? Just go to the reactions button and raise your hand. Any other questions? Anything else? Does anything? Okay, Jim.
All right, let me get to the third act then. Ready?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I still got more. One thing I forgot to mention about community, and I've got a couple of snapshots here I'm going to share. And so let's suppose I go on community and, you know, it's showing me that newest business list. You know, these are the apples on the tree. And if you can see on the bottom of your screen there, I can't show you the cursor, but you see Yvetta? She's a marketing person. Marketing companies are really great referral partners for me, so that they put me in touch with their customers that need better imagery, and vice versa. And look, she's got the little bubble there, says she wants to connect with photographers, and I am one of those. So of course I clicked on connect, and after, you know, reading more about Yvetta's company and be able to pen a nice, thoughtful, unique message, and sure enough, she accepted my connection request, and we start to talk about, you know, that coffee date. You know, let's find out more about each other's business. Look over on the right of your screen. These are all people that I've already connected with that she would like to connect with as well. So when I go into that coffee date, I'm already armed with a lot of ammunition. I'm coming in there with power. I can say to her, you know what, I know these other photographers that do other genres that I don't want. I know you want to get in touch with us. So let's be, you know, let's be proactive in growing this trust relationship to the point where we do know, like, and trust each other to the point where I can introduce you to all these folks. So instead of the coffee date being we both give each other the 30-second elevator pitch, we finish our coffee and we go on our way, we've got a plan in place to grow that relationship to the point of trust to be able to start those referrals. So I love being able to do a little bit of this research up front, or actually, I'm sorry, Alignable does all this research for me up front. So I walk into the coffee shop knowing that I have value to bring to the table, and I'm just not going to pitch my products and services to a stranger. So you know, that is, to me, is another very strong, powerful tool I love about Alignable. Allows me to get that relationship started with a little bit of kick behind it. All right, I wanted to move next to the home tab, and let me go. Let me pick this one. So the home tab's here, and this is kind of a big dashboard. And one of the things I do every morning here is I just make sure that my networking events, click on networking events, and make sure that all the things that I've agreed to sign up to either do or participate in, manage to make it on my calendar. There's not a disconnect there, because sometimes that happens. But I check on those. And then I go down to this cool thing, today's success plan. And I hate that it's below the fold. I don't know if everybody can see this, depends on your monitor probably. I mean, you know, on a day-to-day basis. But if you're not sure, new things you could do on Alignable to improve your visibility, your presence in your community, or whatever, Alignable has this rotating list of ideas that you can explore and find you know, new ways you can use Alignable to promote your business, to, you know, connect with people, to support your community, et cetera. And it's a really great little tool here. I love all that. All right, the very last thing I'm going to do before I wrap it up is I'm going to share this little hidden feature below your My Business icon on the ribbon. You see this little taco chip right here? If you accidentally click on this, there's another list of other things you can do. Now, the first couple are just links to things we already talked about. I'm not going to go into advertising, but whoever had the question about advertising, you can find out more about those opportunities there. You can invite businesses. Here's a hidden jewel that I have no idea why it's way down here, but this is, they call it Marketplace, but really what it is, it's Solutions Marketplace for small businesses. This is all kinds of great information that small business owners, these are the things we struggle with, whether it be HR or, you know, managing events. They have content in different infographics and guides. You'll see a lot of Sue's videos down in this section here. It's hidden. I don't know why, but it's a great place to go and get lots of answers to common small business problems and questions. So there's that. And then the last couple things, account settings, that is where you can change your password. Help Center is a place you can go to FAQs, all this kind of stuff. If you're on that Explorer account and you want to find out how many credits you have left, how many connection credits do I have? That will bring you down to this little button here. And they call this the Alignable. The Alignable will now send you a message telling me how many connection requests, or how many connection credits I have left. And then you can just click on that anytime you need to, so you don't accidentally run out of connection requests. And then that next whale shows up and you have to wait till next month to connect with them. All right, what else is in that thing? Email preferences. This is a big one. People complain a lot. I get too much email from Alignable. Well, you can basically, one, turn this off when you're on vacation. That way you don't get any Alignable notices that really take you away from the all-important mindset of vacation. And you can even come in here and you can decide what kinds of things Alignable will send you messages about or not. So you can fine-tune your announcements from Alignable in your email box to exactly the things that are important to you. And then the last thing, of course, would be to log out. If you're on a public terminal, you want to make sure you log out so the next person doesn't pop in as you. And I think that is the end of my tour.
Wow.
How are we doing on time?
How'd you guys think? Give us thumbs up. He's pretty awesome, isn't he? So I thank you, Jim. Wow. Okay, we have a quick question here, Yvette. I know we're at the end, but that's okay. We'll take a couple more questions. Go ahead, Yvette.
So Jim, there is a referral button where it says refer yourself. When would you refer yourself? You know, I always feel like you have to develop those, what?
I have no idea when you would refer. Sue, do you have an answer for that one? Because I have no idea why you would ever refer yourself.
No, unless maybe you want somebody to go see your profile, I suppose, maybe. I don't know.
I just thought it was an odd button because you want to work with those you know, like, and trust, and you want to develop that relationship. And so I thought, would I ever refer myself? So I just thought I'd ask, put it out there. So
yeah, I think it's a way to send your profile to somebody. Like maybe you could say, maybe someone, I don't know, I'm just making this up on the spot.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, maybe somebody's like, well, tell me a little bit about more what you do. You can just click that and just say, hey, go check out my profile. So yeah, like what I said, you can put everything on your profile and you can share that with people. So
actually, now that you say that, there are times when I say, go look at my profile, I can say, here, let me just send you my link so you can get to my profile. So that was like the aha moment. So thank you.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, thanks you guys for all coming. It's been a little more than an hour. Thanks for being here. Reach out, connect with Jim. I tried to connect with everybody who registered today. So, feel free to keep the questions going in the event post, and I'm sure we'll have time to answer some of those. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks all. Appreciate everybody coming.